Hello everyone, welcome to Ugar Social Academy. In my previous sessions, we have learned about the public finance. We begin our topic with the public finance and budget, where we have learned about what is the difference between the public finance as well as the private finance. What does personal finance mean? Moreover, we have learned about the importance of the public finance, and as well as we have also learned regarding the how much of important role is being played by the public finance in the form of the budget. Then moreover we learned about the public expenditure, and in that public expenditure in the two forms, planned expenditure, non-planned expenditure. Okay, now in this session we are going to learn regarding the public revenue. We are going to learn about public revenue. We will learn. Okay, now when we talk about public revenue, this is the revenue which has been generated by the government from the different sources to fulfill the different needs of the citizen of this country, or we can say for the welfare of the people. The public revenue helps a lot in the development of the nation. The government plays a very important role, and it is the responsible person also for lifting up from the poverty to the richness. It does all sort of effort to fulfill the need of the public. So here public revenue becomes very important. So let us learn from this chapter public finance and budget. From this topic today, let us learn about the topic called as a public revenue, and its two different forms of types. Okay, in the form of revenue receipts and capital receipts. Okay, public revenue, two forms, revenue receipt as well as the capital receipts are there. Now public revenue, what we have said, that the income generated, or the government collects the income from the different sources to fulfill the need of the whom, need of the citizen of the country. So the money which is been collected from the different sources, which is been accumulated, once again it is been spent on the way for the welfare of the people. And here to be understood that whether it is a central government or whether it is a state government, state government also collects the income from the different sources. In the same way central government also collect the income from the various sources, and these various sources, for example, like whether it is our taxes related to road, taxes related to our personal income, taxes related to the properties, taxes related in the form of drinking water or the open land. In this form, different forms of taxes are been what they are being collected, and these taxes later period, the public revenue, which is been which divides into the form of, one is revenue receipt, another one is what, capital receipt. Let us first go to the way to the revenue receipts. In this revenue receipt, again tax revenue now. Okay, what it is, it's a tax revenue now. Revenue receipts, which refers to the which one, collection of a income, or the income which has been collected from the tax and from the non-tax, tax and from the non-tax, non-tax receipts and non-tax receipts are there. So when we talk about tax receipts, right, this is a tax revenue. Another one is what, it's a non-tax revenue. Okay, this is a non-tax revenue. Okay, where again in the two form, in the tax revenue itself, what we will see that there is one is tax. Okay, another one we call it as a direct tax, and another one we call it as a indirect tax. Okay, right? Tax, direct tax, indirect tax. Now when we talk about the tax, it is the amount, it is the money which will be paid by the individual, right, without acceptation, any acceptation that in return it will come to them. Okay, without the acceptation, what it is that in return it is going to come, we call it as a tax, right? For example, what type of tax would be, what type of would be, because we are saying without any expectation, without any expectation, like house tax, yearly it is been paid. Okay, it will be not returned, it will be not returned, right? Somewhere water tax, it will be not returned. Electricity tax, it will be not returned. So that money paid by the citizens without any expectation, we call it as a what, call it as a tax, right? And when we talk about the sequence of the different form of collection of taxes, right, we will get to know that here in the India we are having different slabs, different slabs in the form of what, according to the income, how much of luxury is being used by the human being. Okay, so we know very well, we classify poor, middle class, rich class. Okay, now poor class, if it has been taken the same tax as to the rich class, then poor class will become more poor class, right? And rich class tax can't be taken same as like as a poor class, because rich class they are able to purchase the goods, they are having that quality to purchase the goods, they are having that much of source of income to purchase the goods. So here slabs are been different. For the rich, according to that the taxes is being collected. For the middle class, according to that taxes are being collected. And for the poor class, the tax is exempted, there is no tax for the poor class. Okay, the way this is been done, the way this is been done, okay, the method which is been used to know about rich, middle, poor, the classification which is been done of collection of the taxes in the form, it is nothing but it is called as a principles of progression taxation, which is called as a principle of progression taxation, it is been called. Okay, principle of progressive taxation, according to the which one, according to the slabs which are been made. So one thing you dear understand, that what is this tax, tax is nothing but once you paid, it should be in your mind that it is not going to come back without any expectation, we call it as a what, call it as a tax. Okay, another side, it is a direct tax, it is which is directly paid by you, directly it is been paid by you. Okay, right, this tax will have to be taken burden by you itself, other person will be not said to pay your taxes, you are going to pay this tax. Okay, so we call refer it as a what, as a direct tax. Like income tax example. Okay, income tax, how much of you earn, how much of you earn, on the base of that the tax will be decided, how much of you earn, 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 20 lakh, crore, how much of you earn, on the basis of that what it is mean, that income tax will be what, it will be added in the form of, in the same like there are corporate tax are there. Okay, there is a stamp duty is been there, which has been collected during the time of which one, if the purchase of the lands will be there, at the time this is been collected. So in this form what it is that, it is the direct taxes are been what, it is been collected. And another side there is one more, it is there, it's about the indirect tax. What it is, indirect tax. Now in this indirect tax, the taxes will be indirectly imposed on us, indirectly, like now see here, government, very simple example to understand the indirect tax, government, industry, trader, consumer, right? Government will collect the tax from the industry, right? Government will collect the tax from the industry, because industry is the one who converts the raw material into the finished goods, packs it, okay, sells it. He sells to the whom? To the trader. Trader sells to the whom? To the consumer. So when here in the industry, when the product comes out of the industry, already the price will be fixed, like 27 rupees MRP. Okay, this MRP, okay, will reach up to here, consumer, up to here. So government already has collected the tax from the home, from the industry. So on the behalf of industry, we are paying the tax. Okay, this 27 rupees will be directly paid by whom? By the consumer directly. When we go to the shop, you have seen, when you, if you ask any sort of the product, when the trader, what he does, he sees the packet MRP, what it will be written down, he will say to you. So you are indirectly paying the tax to the government. We call it as a indirect tax. In this form, indirect taxes are being there. Okay, this will make easy, right, to what to do, because there many products are being there which cannot be directly collected from the whom, from the citizens. So different methods are being used, okay, to collect over there. So we are having the taxes in the form of, if we go again indirect, import and export taxes are there. Import as well as the export taxes are been there, service tax is been there, foreign travel tax are the examples of the indirect taxes. So this is all regarding the which one, regarding the revenue receipts. Okay, but revenue receipts which are been divided into the, sorry, public revenue which is being generated from the different sources, okay, by the government to fulfill the need of the, or for the welfare of the people, we said it as a public revenue. Okay, another side, what, public revenue further divided into two form, one is revenue receipts, another one is what, it is a capital receipts. Okay, as we said, central government is having his own way of collection of the sources, and the state government is also having the his own way sources of collection of the sources. Now these sources which are being collected will help in the development for the welfare of the people. Okay. Now another side, revenue receipt. Now revenue receipt, what is the income generated from the tax plus non-tax, non plus tax. Okay, that is called as a revenue receipts. In the tax revenue receipt, if we go again, we are having tax, direct tax, indirect tax. Tax, what we said, once you paid without any expectation that it will return back. Okay, tax direct, which will be directly paid by us. There will be no mediator. We will directly pay to the home, to the government. Indirect tax, now in the little bit a long way it will be there, but indirectly it will reach up to the way, up to the government. So in this way, what it's been collected, the taxes are what, the taxes are been collected from the collected by the government. We call it as a what, call it as a revenue receipts. In the same way, we are having the another topic called as a non-tax revenue. Okay, we are having the topic called as a non-tax revenue. Now, what type of non-tax revenue will be there? Okay, here we will write. It's regarding the non-tax revenue. Okay. Now, dear, one thing you understand that we have given the power to the government to work for us, okay, to fulfill our needs, and for this he accepts from us in the form of tax, in the form of tax which he collects from the different sources he collects. Okay, right. Now one side we have studied regarding what, regarding the which is collected directly and indirectly by us, but now it is what, it's a non-tax revenue it is. Now he says that the government which generates the revenue from other sources, the government which generates the revenue from other sources, we call it as a non-tax revenue. Now what type of other sources will be there? the net profit, the net profit earned, the net profit earned by the RBI, net profit it is. Okay, and RBI, Reserve Bank of India, it's a bankers bank, it's a mother bank of all the banks. Now this is the bank which gives the loans to the even to the state government and even to the central government. And central government, by his different source of revenue, it deposits the money in the way in the Reserve Bank of India, and from that he gets a lot of interest also. Interest again, which accumulates into the huge money. Okay, it's not like our money which we deposit in the form of 20,000, 25,000. He will go on more than 10,000 crores, 20,000 crores. So automatically the revenue will be also more. It will be there. So net profit earned by the which one, by the Reserve Bank of India. Another side he says the net profit, the net profit earned, the net profit earned by the Indian Post, by the Indian Post. We very well know that present post office plays a very important role, as more than 7 lakh post offices are been spread in the way throughout India, and postal department is also investing the money in the way for the development of the source of the income of the individuals. Moreover, he has converted into a supplier also, which carries the goods from one place to the another place. Okay, so the net profit which is earned by the whom, by the Indian Post. Moreover, Indian Railway, okay, Indian Communication, these are the sources. Okay, communication, if it not one example like a BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, it is, which runs throughout the India. Indian Railway, which runs throughout the India. Huge amount of economy is been what it is been generated. Okay, these are the central subjects. Central subjects. This is one subject. Communication, railway is one subject. Post is one subject. RBI is one subject. In this form, different what it is, what it is been done. Moreover, net profit from the public sector also. Public sector, net profit he earns from the way, from the public sector. Now, public sector when we say, okay, now public sector when we say, it is regarding the number of industries, number of industries. Okay, government himself it is having number of industries, right, in a different, which also generates huge amount of economy to the home, to the government. So this is a net profit earned by from the way, from the public sector. Okay. Another side water. The net profit, okay, earned from fees, fees and penalties. Net profit earned from the fees and penalties it is. Okay. Now if you are unable to pay, like income tax which has been there, you are unable to, you didn't pay in time, then the government will put up a penalties on it. So penalties are nothing but they are the extra source of income to the government. And fees, as usual, there will be many departments where to get something. Okay, proper pro forma will be there, so you have to fill up the form and then you have to submit it. So the fees will be collected on that. In this form, the fees and penalties also plays a very important role in the source of the return, source of the income. So these are the non-tax revenue from where the government earns the money. The government, what he does, he earns the money. So these all comes under the where, under the revenue receipts. Okay. Again, I repeat you, revenue receipts which are divided into two form, right? Tax revenue and non-tax revenue. In the tax revenue, tax, direct tax as well as the indirect tax. In the non-tax revenue, profit net RBI from the Indian Postal Department, Indian Railways, Indian Communication, from the public sector, from the fees and penalties, and even from the coins also. Okay, even from the coins also. In this way, the revenue receipt is being said. Now, in front of us, another topic, it's regarding the capital receipts. Okay, now what does this capital receipt it means? So capital receipt is the second part of which one, part of our public revenue. Okay, after revenue receipt, now let us go to the which one, to the capital receipt. What it is? It's a capital receipts. This also plays a very important role. Okay, further in the next session when we come, I will show you the chart regarding that. So here, capital receipt, the revenue generated by the government, which is intended to, the revenue generated by the government, which is intended to be used to create new assets. The revenue generated by government, right? Intended intended, the revenue generated by the government intended to be used, to be used for new assets. For which one? For the new assets in various fields. In various fields, I can take example. There is a agriculture is a field, industry is a field, service is a field, right? Banking is a field. In this form, different forms. Okay, fields for the economy. Okay, for the economy, we call it as what? Call it as a capital receipt. Now they can, sorry, what we call it as a capital receipt. So the revenue which is generated by the government, okay, which is intended to be used for the new asset in various fields for the economy, we call it as a what? Call it as a capital receipt. This capital receipts, it is very important. Okay, capital receipts helps in a proper movement of the economy. Proper movement of the economy. Say regarding the capital receipts, when we say, and when we get to know that how it generates from the different sources, like agriculture is there, industry is there, irrigation is there, canal projects are being there. These are some of the examples from where it is been generated. Apart from that, the government generates the capital revenue mainly through the loans. Okay, apart from that, the government generates the capital revenue mainly from which one? Mainly from the loans. This is a capital revenue, okay, which it generates mainly from the where? From the revenue. Now, what type of in what form loan is being generated? One is called as an internal debt, another one is called as a foreign debt or external debt. Okay, and another one is what? It is a disinvestment. Another one is what? It is a disinvestment. These are the different sources of collecting of capital revenue it is. Okay, now here, what does this internal debt it refers? Okay, internal debt, when we talk, okay, the central government as well as the state government, they take the loan from the Reserve Bank of India also. Reserve Bank of India. So whatever the movement process of loan goes on, that is going on within the nation itself. Okay, so we call it as an internal. Another side, foreign debt or external debt. Now foreign debt here refers to, apart from our nation, we are hiring the money, we are taking the money, we are taking the loan from the other nations for the fulfillment of our welfare of the state. Okay, whether we are taking from the international financial institution like IMF is there, International Monetary Fund, IBRD, okay, International Bank of Reconstruction and Development, it is there, or from the other nations. Those all comes under where? Under the foreign debt. And another one word is what? Disinvestment, withdrawal of the money from the public sector by the government. Government withdraws the money from the public sector. Okay, now these are been done sometime to boost the economy of which one? Economy of the nations. So these all are nothing but, they, we can say, these are the sources. Internal, foreign, disinvestment, they are the sources of the government. They are the sources of the government to earn extra more number of money. Extra more number of money, which helps in the way in the development of what? Development of the loans. So in this form, our capital receipt is been there. Okay, so what does this capital receipt means? The revenue generated by the government, which is intended to be used for the new assets in various fields of the economy. Okay, so this was all related to the public expenditure, revenue receipt as well as a capital receipt. Hope you have understood regarding the different types of taxes. So in my next session, let me come with a one more new topic, okay, with a different form of what type of investment will be there. And as I always say, always watch the full video, then only you will be able to understand. And if there only any queries, if it will be there, you can comment to me, and I will in my next session definitely I'm going to clarify that. Okay. And lastly, don't forget to like, share, as well as the comment. Be tuned with me. Thank you.